right, let's talk about the top 5 rookies overall. This will, of course, include at least one quarterback on this list. Let's start at the bottom, and this isn't really the bottom, just reverse order. These guys are all superstars in my mind. Bijan went over to London. What's your London line?
Look, he got a little bit of sticky wicket over there.
I think Des Ritter's in a sticky wicket, but he didn't. We're not talking about him right now. That's conversation for another podcast. Bijan 14 of for 105 on the ground, 5 more receiving yards for 5 more receptions, for 32 receiving yards. I mean, there's nothing else to add. It's the same sort of scouting report every week. He's incredibly important to what they do. He's hard to tackle.
Yeah, he looks like a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest. He's the only thing that they have. the move he made in the flat to break that defender's ankles, and then one-hand catch on a screen route. Everything's going through him now on that offense, and he seems like the only thing that's really, at least in this game, really worked well for Atlanta is the ball, when they get the ball in his hands, whether it's in pass or run.
As I mentioned, at 14 carries, he had runs of 8, 9, 21, and 38 yards on the ground.
And what I'm doing, if I'm a defensive coordinator, my number one objective, you're a good player, is to try to control Bijan from beating you. And if you can control him and take him out of the game, then you're going to beat the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, because one of the issues with Des Ridder coming out was accuracy, and that's sort of shown itself, and the poor decision-making and throwing late showed itself in London for sure. So hopefully you can get that sorted out. But it was a theme in college, and it's been cropping up recently to the start of this season. Number 3 on the list. Oh, excuse me. Number 4 on the list. Debo made me drop my guy at the end. I'm going to give him an honorable mention, though. Number 4 on the list, Devon Achane. Sorry, that's how he was pronounced.
Yep.
Achane.
Yep, we have to get that pronunciation right.
Yep. 8 rushes, 101 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 receptions on 19 carries. Again, just like college, he'll run between the tackles, and then Mike Daniel will get him on the perimeter, and he'll use his speed to run past people. Made a note here. He had rushes of 10 yards, 15 yards, 55 yards. Had an 8-yarder in there as well.
Yeah, that's where he got over his 100 yards. But he's doing everything that we saw in college. The one thing that he's doing better that you didn't see, I didn't have a great feel for in college, was his hands out of the backfield. And I think they're good.
Yeah. And he's in a perfect position in terms of getting utilized properly, because that's sometimes what you worry about when you talk about fit. All right. Great game for Devon Achane, even though for the first time all season, the Bills were able to pressure Tua, and Tua was not the Tua we've seen recently, but we'll see how that plays out in the coming weeks. Number 3 on the list. I mean, this guy, he is in the Hall of Fame already, Rick. Puka Nacua.
I'm maybe buying Puka beads. I don't know.
Finally. Now, look, he continues to primarily work the middle of the field against his own. He did have one out route, I think, in this game. He had that 7 route a couple weeks ago that we talked about and made the great catch on. But they use him in the middle of the field. He makes contested catches. You made the frowny face when I said he can run through arm tackles, has a little yak ability. That showed up a little bit this week as well.
Game-winning touchdown he did.
First touchdown of the season somehow. He's got 5,000 catches. He finally got a touchdown.
Yeah, no, and the one thing that I respected him more than anything, I can understand the route savvy and working in the middle of the field, and he's got excellent hands, and he has courage in traffic and doing all the things that Puka does. But where I really earned my respect is what he did blocking this week. And they put him at the late in the wing or right in the bunch formation, and he does not mind getting dirty work done. So I earned another notch of respect for him because of him willing to do the dirty work.
And Debo just put up the graphic if you're listening. 39 catches through 4 games and over 500 receiving yards. I mean, this guy's better than Justin Jefferson. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm not. Everybody wants to put him in the Hall of Fame. Let's see. We're in chapter 1 of the book. Let's see.
Okay.
I knew he would hate on him at some point. It took him a couple minutes.
So here's Debo's question to you, Rick. He was a 5th-round pick. What did teams miss on him?
I think the durability concerns. I think the speed, but and like I said, he's not beating man coverage. He knows how the savviness in zone. And I got to give credit. Stafford now is a pretty good quarterback.
Golly, he looks great.
would he have the same production if it wasn't Stafford at quarterback? I don't know if he would or not.
Yeah.
But Stafford and him somehow kind of have this chemistry going, which makes him who he is too. But you got to give credit to Stafford for getting him the ball as many times as he getting, and Stafford trusting him to come up with the plays, and he's done it. I mean,
And oh, by the way, Cooper Kupp's coming back.
yeah,
So
no, that's real, but that's another story.
Your dog disagrees. All right, number 2 on the list, and it's hard to say this guy's number 2 based on the way he played on Monday night. Devon Witherspoon, 97-yard pick six. What in the world are you doing, Daniel Jones, on that throw? Had 2 sacks like he was Harrison Smith out there. 4 pressures, 7 tackles. He will come up and hit you in the mouth. We saw that a few times. And run support and getting after the quarterback. Has a nose for the football. Is pretty fast. We saw that on the 97-yard return. He hit 20 miles an hour, according to Next Gen Stats. Reek Woolen was running interference. Reek ran 22.25 miles an hour on that run back. So they got some dudes that can run as well. You want to make a case for why Devon Witherspoon should be number 1? Or are you okay with him here at number 2?
No, I'm here with number 2 because this was his breakout game. He got better. He did miss week 1. We talked about him last week, and he was getting better each week. And then this breakout game, hopefully he can play at this level. But if he can play like he played on Monday night, then you're going to be talking about him as potentially Defensive Player of the Year and putting him up there with the Sauce Gardners of the world, the way he's playing right now.
The Giants, meanwhile, my word, I don't know how you. If you're the general manager sitting in the box and you go down to the locker room after the game, are you talking to anybody? Like, what's the conversation you're having after that game?
I was like, man, I wonder if CBS will hire me and let me do it. Wilson and Debo.
Oh my gosh, they've scored 3 points.
They haven't scored a touchdown in the first half, have they?
No, they haven't. Daniel Jones is 1-12 in primetime games. They've been outscored 60-something to 3 or 6 at home. I mean, it's just one disaster after the next. All right, let's talk about something positive. Number 1 on the list, it has to be Coleridge Bernard Stroud the fourth.
Yes.
He gets better each and every week. Hasn't thrown an interception yet. 16 of 30. He was much better than 16 of 30. 306 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ran for 16 more yards on 4 carries. There's nothing else. We talked about him earlier. I mean, most pass attempts without an interception to start his NFL career. CJ's number 1. 49 passes ahead of Warren Moon. And then Debo had to get Carson Wentz's name on there. And Case Keenum and Tom Brady.
Super Bowl champions on this list, and he's one of them.
Oh, yeah. Tom Brady's the other Super Bowl champion.
Oh, he went down, didn't play in the playoffs.
That doesn't matter to Debo. He's going to stand up for Carson Wentz till the bitter end. All right. So let me ask you this about CJ, because we love the way he's played.
Debo this.
Okay, go ahead.
Debo, now that we're dealing in hypotheticals and throwing curveballs.
Oh, boy.
If Jalen Hurts if Philly was in a situation like the New York Jets and Hurts couldn't play the rest of the year,
no way
for Carson Wentz coming back to Philly.
That's where he draws the line.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think so.
Debo, he got you. You got Debo. Rick put you on the spot.
No, my stance, just to clarify, like, the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl in 2017 without his regular season performance. Like, they're not in that position to play the Falcons and to play you guys at home in the NFC Championship, Rick, without him. I understand what happened after that, but I will always appreciate my guy Carson.
Rick ain't buying it.
Yada, 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 yada.
And I don't like how you keep bringing up these Jalen Hurts injury hypotheticals.
I know. What is up with that? Your favorite player in the world, you don't like. Oh, and quickly, before we go. And Debo mercilessly cut this poor young man from the conversation. Michael Wilson, my guy to Stanford, 7 catches, 76 yards, had 2 touchdowns on that upstart Arizona Cardinals team. He gets honorable mention, Rick. He will have his Puka Nacua moment over the second half of the season, is my prediction. So look out for that.
Yay.
All right, Rick. That's it. That's a wrap.
Can our crackpot Debo maybe find out where the J comes in CJ? That's kind of going to bother me for the rest of the week till Thursday.
You know CJ's agent. Can you imagine texting CJ's agent that? Hey, by the way, what does the J stand for? CJ. All right. We'll get on that. We'll get that answer for you Thursday, Rick.